Many of you may be self-taught programmers, which is great. Some of you may have attended a coding bootcamp, which is also commendable. However, having the necessary skills may not always be enough to secure a programming job without a degree. While most companies insist on candidates having a degree, but this is not the case for all. It's important to understand that some of the larger and older companies such as Microsoft, Amazon, Google, HP, and IBM may require degrees, but not all companies do. Therefore, it's essential to do your research before applying for a job. And in this video, we will be discussing just that: how to get a programming job without a degree. There are plenty of successful software developers who started their careers without a degree, and most of them are self-taught. Some attended college for a year but dropped out because they didn't feel they were learning what they needed to know, or they found traditional education boring and preferred to learn on their own. However, it's worth noting that not having a degree may result in getting paid less than someone with a degree, and some companies may start you on a pay scale equivalent to not having a degree. Nonetheless, this is intended to encourage you that it's possible to land a job even with companies that require degrees. To actually land a job without a degree, you need to focus your efforts. The first step is to identify companies that are more likely to hire people without degrees. While it's still possible to get hired at larger companies like HP or Microsoft without a degree, it may be more challenging. So, while you can apply for these jobs, it's best to narrow down your search to companies that have hired people without degrees, especially those that state "no degree required" in the job description. This strategy will increase your chances of getting hired. Having a well-written resume is essential in the application process, and it's common sense to ensure that yours is top-notch. Consider hiring a professional resume writer to help you stand out from other applicants. Additionally, make sure that you have an online portfolio that showcases your best work, especially if you've created apps. In the software developer industry, the biggest concern of any company is that the developer doesn't know how to code. Overcoming this fear is essential. Companies may be hesitant to hire you if they can't see your work or if they don't trust your abilities. Trust is critical. From experience, there have been instances where software developers were hired, but they didn't actually know how to code. Some developers might know the jargon, but when it comes to real coding, they struggle. It's a problem because hiring someone who can't code wastes your money, resources, and may be difficult to get rid of. It's better not to hire than to make a bad hire. To overcome this, you need to prove that you can code, and that's where having a degree helps. Companies will feel more confident in hiring someone with a CS or master's degree because they know you've gone through a proper curriculum and should have learned how to code. You don't need to be a great coder, but having a degree means you've learned the basics, including algorithms, computer architecture, and programming languages. It's also important to prove your skills, especially if you're self-taught or from a coding bootcamp. A good way to do this is by building a portfolio of apps that you've developed, and even better if you have an app in the App Store or a paid website or SaaS app. While applying for a job, you can show the source code for your app or talk about your commercial apps and your coding style. By doing so, you demonstrate your coding ability and show that you have the necessary skills even without a degree. To improve your chances of landing a job, it's important to gain experience and make connections. You gain experience by starting your own company and developing apps, or by working for free on open source projects. If you don't have a degree, it may be harder but not impossible. Attend meetup groups and user groups in your area regularly, and even give presentations at these events. You can also attend code camps, create a YouTube channel to teach, or start a blog to establish your credibility. The key is to become known in your field and to make connections with people who work in the companies you are interested in. When you apply for a job, people are likely to Google your name, so it's critical to establish yourself as an authority in the software development industry. One effective way to do this is to create a blog and educate people, which will add huge value. By marketing yourself and demonstrating credibility, you can compensate for not having a degree. Remember, your goal is to get rid of people's concerns that you lack coding skills or won't perform well if hired. Demonstrating your knowledge through education can be incredibly beneficial. If you do well, more job opportunities will come your way, and your hourly rate will increase without the need to actively search for new employment. This is the result of successful self-promotion. If you're just starting and need additional guidance, be sure to watch our video, How to Get a Programming Job with No Experience. This gives you specific advice in securing employment without a degree. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and we'll try to address them in future videos. Don't forget to subscribe to receive all our channel's content. Take care and we'll see you on our next video.